if you get this right and it works the way that it should work, there comes a point where actually you don't have any expectations anymore. You don't get out of bed in the morning, think I'm doing this because I'm going to get something, or I'm going to change, or I'm going to be free, I'm going to be enlightened even, some people hold on to, and all of those things. You can actually reach a point where you just do it for its own sake, and you don't think about the fruit. You don't think about how you're going to change and how you're going to be liberated. And these things about yourself that you don't like are gonna, you need a desire to even for those things to fall off. Never mind the desires to become this more wholesome person. All of that, you let all of that go. You can let all of that go. And you can just come to this practice and do it for its own sake. And if you can reach that point, that is tremendous freedom within that, where you don't have any expectations, when you're not doing it in order to get something. That may be a place that you can't even imagine. But if we apply ourselves in the correct way, and if things work properly as they should, we can. It is possible to arrive at that place where you don't have any projections anymore. And yet, within that, and this is, when it's willful, this can't happen, that when you don't have those expectations anymore, when you truly just do the practice here and now, there is no tomorrow. And yet, you're 100% committed. Easy to get to that point where you've given up. No, I'm not going to get anything out of this. This is not. No, I'm not bothered. I don't think about liberation and changing and stuff like that. Well, you get into that state, quite likely, you're in a very slothful. The inertia comes in, and the whole thing just grinds to a halt. Or you get yourself into some little comfort zone where you just go through the motions. But it's possible to come to that place where you no longer have those expectations, where you're no longer projecting, but actually you give yourself 100% wholehearted, where you come to the edge of your comfort zone, which you've still got, where you are prepared to be in that place, and a place that, of course, can be very uncomfortable, it can be challenging, there can be all sorts of emotions around that. But you're willing to because that's what's in front of you, that's the next thing to do, that's what the universe has presented to you today. Here you are. What are you going to do with that? And to give yourself wholeheartedly, 100%, without any expectation, without any expectation of reward, liberation, however, nothing. But just because it's there and that's the way it is, and you're not a Buddha, and you've still got stuff to be working with, but you give yourself 100% wholehearted, the virya, the commitment, but not want anything, no projection, no desire for anything to come back from that. How is it possible to be able to have that experience, to be in that place, as it were? If you have a willful practice, then you're gonna have projections, you're gonna have desires, and you're gonna have disappointments, and you're gonna come crashing down, because the Dharma doesn't give you what you want. It just doesn't work. The world may give you what you want, but the Dharma will never give you what you want. It will never. You never say, I want this, I want to be like that, and the Dharma says, oh, well, okay then you become like this, and you be. No. where does that come from? Where does that commitment come from if it's not willful? This is what you learn to grow into, learn to open, and learn to recognize, learn to open and to embrace and allow to come into your life, because it's not me. I mean, it's the what can be a crisis, because you think, well, there's got to be, I've got to drive myself in order for this to work. There's got to be some willfulness. How is it possible to be 100% committed without this drive? And if it is all revolving around this self thing, this willful thing, then you've got a real problem, haven't you? It's not going to work. It can't work. It can't work. The self can't be selfless. But if the maturing process and the polishing is in place, you begin to discover that part of you that I think brought you to this in the first place, actually. That part of you that is not a part of the self. And that part is what we learn to open up to and invite and allow to carry us into in our daily life more and more. But this is only going to be possible if things are in place correctly. And for us, a way of discovering that is with our form of meditation, where we learn to be still, where we don't have anything that we're not having anything that we're doing, but we're learning to be still, and we're learning to discover a part of us. When we come to that stillness and to that openness, we begin to discover that part of us that is beyond the self.